Hello and welcome back to HR Stew. My name is Regina Dyerly.
And I'm Holly Knowles.
And this is HR Stew.
Welcome back to HR Stew, where work and professionalism meets real life. And sometimes real life means watching a coworker start karaoke after 3 margaritas at a company picnic. Today we're diving into the wild world of workplace social events, those summer parties, barbecues, happy hours, and team outings that are supposed to build culture, but sometimes go a little off script. This is your summer social deep dive, from what HR wishes employees knew to the moments that made us all question our life choices. Today we're joined by Barbara Campbell. With over 10 years of HR experience, Barbara currently serves as an HR business partner here at Vida HR. Welcome, Barbara.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you.
So I'm going to start with a question. What has been the most disastrous company picnic or party you've attended, and what can we all learn from it?
I wouldn't say it was disastrous. However, I attended a company event after hours, and there was an employee. They were a newer employee, and they proceeded to get extremely intoxicated. I think they had only been at the company for about 3 or 4 months, so it wasn't very long. And they were extremely intoxicated at this company event, slurring their words, talking loudly, and somebody from the employer had to drive them home that day. And I was like, I don't know that I could do that at my age now. In my 20s, it might have been a different conversation, let's be honest. But I just thought that was, you're new to the company, and that is how you're going to present.
Yeah, if someone has to drive you home, that's never a good sign. So hopefully they didn't feel too bad the next day when they woke up. Oh my God, what happened? I'll be honest, I haven't been personally in the middle of any kind of company picnic meltdown, so to speak, but I've supported enough company events to know how things like this can happen. The pattern is usually the same: lack of planning, unclear expectations, too much alcohol, as you mentioned, and no one ready to step in when things go amok, right? Or if someone's behaving out of line. Again, not a company picnic, some other events that went wrong that I'm not going to divulge.
I think one of our peers had mentioned a 420 party they went to.
Oh, really?
Yes. And the company had all of the employees build bongs, and then they voted on them.
How had I never heard of that before in my life? Never.
Same.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
All right, so our first segment, I'm going to go through some work party frequently asked questions, and I'm just kind of looking for general answers. So number 1 is, what do you as an HR professional look out for at your company outing or parties?
I'm going to take that first because mainly I want to not be running the event. I want to not be working the event and actually be a guest. And that has literally never happened in my entire career. So that's what I would want. I want to just be a guest at a company picnic.
Typically, when I'm on the lookout as HR for a company party, I'm looking for inclusivity to make sure that it's a safe environment for everybody, that there's nobody feeling uncomfortable or left out of this event, and go find that person and talk to them so that they can be included. But then you're also on the lookout for those behaviors that are over the top as well, whether that's harassment, over intoxication, just pushing those boundaries and that sort of thing. So definitely looking for those things. You want to make sure that everybody's having a fun and safe time, and that they're following the pre-established guidelines that you've already set out for what the drinking policy is, what those expectations look like. So I'm just looking to make sure that everybody's having a good time, because usually we are the party hosts. So that's the big thing.
Great point.
I like the inclusivity. If somebody's sitting by themselves, take the opportunity to go sit by themselves. That's awesome.
That's a great point. So when it comes to inclusivity, what's something that is often overlooked for company parties?
You just want to make sure, again, that it's accessible for everybody. So anybody with any type of disability, have we made it accessible for everybody to be able to attend that event and get access to the food and seating and everything like that? But then again, there's those people that don't have a lot of work friends and haven't made those connections yet. Somebody that may be new to the company and doesn't know other people, and so they're a little more standoffish and doesn't know quite how to engage. So just reaching out to those people and making sure that they have everything that they need, that they feel comfortable in the environment that they're in, your non-drinkers around your drinkers, and the conversations that are being had.
The next question is, what are your absolute vetoes when it comes to company events? So like, for example, an open bar or at a coworker's house.
So for me, I absolutely veto anything that's a potential workers' comp potential situation.
So no zip lining, skydiving.
So I have a great example. We actually did, this is like several companies ago, like when I first moved here, the company that I worked for, we did a bowling event. Seemed pretty harmless, right? And I'm still friends with her today, so hopefully she listens to us. She's not offended, but she did a little bit of an overzealous, like, I'm not a bowler, that run walk that you do when you're bowling. And she went onto the slippery part.
Oh no.
And she fell while still holding the bowling ball, hit her head.
Oh no.
And that was the end of the fun.
Oh,
Party over. So she was fine, but she was hurt. She hurt her back really bad, actually, mostly. But yeah, I mean, that's how quickly it could happen. So anything that is a potential clear workers' comp issue, I'm a no on, even though that seems like not a lot of fun. Holly, your axe throwing also is a potential issue for me.
So I went axe throwing with a client and I had never been. It was their team building exercise for their leadership team. I thought it was amazing. And I am actually a pretty good shot with the axes, I just want to say. But I can see your point that it would be a workers' comp nightmare if something happened. But I don't necessarily have any vetoes. We've hosted company events at an employee's home. We've had open bars, or the owner just buys everybody drinks. But it's really about everybody's level of professionalism that they bring to the event, or if it's at wherever it is. So
see, I actually have a little bit of an issue with it being at an employee or an owner's house as well.
Right.
I just feel like you have less control. If you're at a neutral location, you're more free to maybe leave. I don't know. It just seems you're more obligated when you go to someone's house, maybe. I don't know. It's not like I haven't done it and I've never had an issue, but it does give me pause. I guess if we're talking about things that we would veto, that would be on my list.
I think the only thing would be with the at-home parties is it blurs the line. Sometimes, right. And again, to your point, Holly, it definitely depends on the professionalism and right. those relationships. But having it at an employee's home can blur the line sometimes. Other than that, I don't necessarily have any vetoes either. Workers' comp is a great one, making sure that everybody's being
open bar
safe.
Is also a veto. Let's be real.
It's expensive too. Not to add.
Yeah, but that's a huge liability issue. If you're offering an open bar, that's on you. Right. You offer a cash bar and you have stipulations. I'm not saying there's not liability on the company, but it definitely lessens it. They're using their own cash, they're making their own decisions. If you're supplying the alcohol and things go wrong, that's on you.
Right.
No, I'm not a fan of a cash bar, period.
Or an open bar?
Yes, I'm a fan of a cash bar. My apologies. Thank you. Yeah. Maybe you give one drink ticket to kick things off, but yeah, no.
I could never host an event at my house because when I'm done and I just want to go and leave.
Oh, no, I do the Irish goodbye all the time.
Me too. All of my friends refer to it as the Holly because I'll just get up and they're like, she isn't coming back if we're camping or something. And
I'm just gone.
Yeah. Nope, she's not.
All right, my next question is, what is the number one thing you wish people knew about work parties?
I would say the number one thing is that you're still at work.
This is about the same thing I was going to say, is that it's an extension of work. The professionalism and those expectations are still the same. But I also think that when people go out and have company parties outside in different venues, they are so caught up with this outside event that they also don't think that the company is being represented at this venue. So you've booked this under your company name. They're seeing how you're reacting, how you're portraying yourself as that company as well. So it's not just within your coworkers to be responsible, but it's also with the people that you're renting the space from.
Very true.
All right. So next question is, are employees responsible for their +1's behavior?
100%. 100%. So if you're definitely responsible for your +1, whether it's your spouse, your partner, a friend, a child that you bring, you're responsible. It's a reflection on you. There's no way around that. So you have to be careful about who you bring and how you're managing that, because regardless, it's going to reflect on you.
Completely agree.
There are some company events I do not bring a +1. I just come alone. And plus, let's be honest, my +1 sometimes is, I don't know these people.
It's hard going to a company party as, like people are talking about work. They have inside jokes. It's just not as much fun. And that's why we do casino night now. Yeah. Because it just changes the whole vibe. I think it's easier for people to mingle, and there's activities for them to participate in that's not games that they actually have to be like highlighted. Yeah.
It could also be like they're just coming to put a face with all the names that you've been telling them the stories about from your work colleagues. So I just want to come and see what you've been telling me.
Well, listen, that's a problem also. My husband does this really loud whisper. And I'm like, they're right there.
Oh, are you going to start leaving him at home?
I told you, I said that might have been his last holiday, his last awards night.
All right. So my next question is, in your opinion, how should alcohol be handled for work events? We went over this a little bit, but
2-drink maximum. Period.
You can't put a restriction on that on people.
Some people you need to, though.
Right, but you can't single people out. Hey, you're a drinker, so you can only have two
or you
drinks.
Can't handle your liquor well. So I think
based on previous events.
Your first year, it's unlimited, but after that, it's depending on your behavior in your first year.
Look, some people are not going to attend an event. This is just a reality. Some people are not going to attend an event if there's not alcohol, a social event. They're spending their free time with you after spending 40 hours or more sometimes a week with you. Like, it's really hard to regulate. That's why alcohol is sticky. Mm-hmm. I don't know. In my earlier career days, when I was in my early 20s, I told you, we used to bring kegs in to the office back in the day. There was some stupid stuff that happened, and I was in HR back then, again, early on. I don't know. I think you do have to, as harsh as this does sound, you do have to do things, at least make sure that the company has as little liability as possible.
Yeah.
I guess that would be my only thing. You don't have to offer alcohol at every event, but if it's a nighttime event or if it's an awards night, if it's a holiday party or something, I think if you want people to attend, you have to have that at least as an option. Maybe you don't have hard alcohol. You try to limit as much as possible.
Make sure that it's not just open bottles sitting on the counter for everybody to pour their own drink, mix their own cocktails, that sort of thing. Absolutely. So I agree. The cash bars, as you mentioned before, or having those tickets for drinks is definitely the best way to go versus any type of open bar or self-pour.
That's at home parties. That's another thing. If people are making their own drinks or whatever, it could lead to a more casual drinking environment. Right?
Or excessive.
Rather than actually physically going to a bartender and paying as well. So I don't know.
All right. So last frequently asked question I have is, do you believe that work parties are effective at building a positive company culture?
If managed correctly, yes, absolutely.
I know I have a good time at our company work events. I've also worked with most people, and I like everybody that works here, but I've also worked with most people for a long time. But I always have a good time, and it's a nice separation of we come in and we're working for our clients, and we don't really have that interaction or that overlap except for during company meetings, those kind of things. So just let your hair down and be who you are outside of work, I think is amazing.
Absolutely agree. Having that opportunity to not be talking about work, everything be work focused, and you get to build that rapport with other people and talk about the gardens and their pets and favorite trips and get to know them on a deeper level just as individuals is absolutely great. But it goes beyond just having company parties to do that. You've got to do that in the workplace as well so that you have that overextension of that and they feel comfortable having those same type of relationships professionally at work as well. So I think if you have a nice combination of the two, then those parties are just that much better.
So just to conclude the segment, overall, what is your personal philosophy on after-hours work events?
Well, my personal philosophy is that after-hour work events should be 100% voluntary. No pressure, no hidden consequences for not showing up. In general, they shouldn't be work-sponsored unless they're truly inclusive, like Barbara had said, or like an annual picnic or like a holiday party, something that's kind of mandatory. I hate that word. But if not, then it should be voluntary. If you're going to ask people to give up their personal time, it has to be genuinely optional. It has to be worth it for them. It has to be worth their time. So I guess that's my thing. Unless it's like one of your annual events, then I think it should be voluntary.
And just to piggyback off of what Regina had said, my main philosophy is having those clear expectations, those clear guidelines for employees to follow, know what they're able to do and what they're not able to do at those parties and those functions.
Great. So next we're going to move on to our next segment. So it's going to be a couple real world stories, and this is called Advice from HR. So this first story reads, I got super drunk last night at a work event. Didn't throw up or anything, but I was just rambling and ranting. My coworker I'm very close with was there and was really annoyed and said I was talking a lot and saying dumb stuff. I feel so stupid and my anxiety is quite bad. I won't drink again at a work party, but I'm worried about what I said. By the end of the night, there was only about 10 people, some people a bit higher in the company, but I'm not sure if they were also drunk. So my question for HR is, how should I handle the situation? And my question for you guys is, have you ever gotten a little too intoxicated at a work event or experienced someone who's had a bit too much to drink?
I first off want to say the coworker that you're really close with should have pulled you aside and gotten you an Uber or sent you home. That's a good colleague when they know you're over the edge and you should probably not be around people any longer. So that would be step one. Talk to your coworker about that. Don't get that intoxicated. But, it's already happened, so there's no sense in dwelling over what happened the night before or the week before, whatever the case may be. Just apologize for your behavior and move on. Show them what you're capable of through your work performance, and don't dwell on the one incident. Yeah, I think you've learned a valuable lesson, and you won't do it again.
That's the key thing, right? So if you know that you're going to wake up with so much regret and you cannot control your talking or behavior, and she doesn't actually know what she said, there still may be repercussions from this. That's just the truth. Yeah. So I definitely think don't do it again. But I think everybody has made this mistake in their career. Not everybody, but most people. I did early on in my carear.
I did early on in my career.
25 years ago, whatever, but I still remember. I could still cringe over a couple of things that I could think of. I don't know. Take a deep breath. You're not the first person this has happened to. Most likely you'll be fine. But yeah, maybe reflect on your relationship. And if your good friend at work is just being annoyed by you and not helping you, maybe they're not as good of a friend as you think.
Agreed.
All right, so the next story reads, I'm in my early 20s. This is our first after-hours work event. I currently don't own a car, so I carpool to the office, and this is making it more complicated for me to attend the after-hours work event that is happening soon. It's not impossible, but it would require some effort to arrange my transportation there and back. I do attend the work lunches that the company has had during work hours and have carpooling arranged. Will I look bad for not attending this work event after hours? One of my only marks during my end of year review was that I needed to be more involved with the team, but this event is offsite and it's making it complicated to attend without pulling a lot of strings. So my question for you guys is, should this person make an effort to attend the work event? And do you think it looks bad to not attend work events in general? And does it not matter?
If the feedback was that they need to be more involved and this is their first offsite work event, then it wasn't in relation to this. It was feedback about their interactions within the team. At least that's how I'm reading that. I don't know if anybody else has a different opinion about that. I don't know. I think it should be voluntary. I don't think they should feel obligated. They may want to attend if they could. It's not that complicated if you have money for Uber. So maybe they don't. This is early on in their career. Some people just don't feel comfortable taking Uber or Lyft or whatever. I don't know. I think giving up your personal time is not a little thing, but sometimes making an effort is worth it. So I guess I'm going both ways.
I think making time will go a long way, especially in their end of year review. They referenced that they need to be more involved with the team. I think if you could attend this one event, it will definitely go a long way amongst your peers and amongst leadership. I can understand if you have something that you cannot get out of, a prior obligation in the evenings or something like that. But a ride, there's Ubers, there's Lyft, there's the bicycle, whatever, the bus system, they can...
Right, they carpool. Maybe we don't have enough information as usual, but it just seems like this is pretty clear cut.
I just think it will look bad if they don't go, and I really think that they should make an effort to go, is my opinion.
The way I understood it is that she does attend all of the on-site company events, and so she's doing all of those things. This is those outside hours, personal time, as you mentioned. And so, again, that takes us back to that. It should be voluntary for you to go, not mandatory for you to attend. But at the same time, if there's always an event coming up, make an effort to attend one or two of those so that you can, again, build those relationships outside of work that aren't centered around work and in that same environment. So I think you should make an effort to attend those events, have some problem solving, whether it's Ubering, finding a ride. But at the same time, I don't think you should necessarily be made to go just because it's an after hours event for them to attend. And it can look bad, but I also, again, think that goes back to what the company's opinion is of engagement. So if this is going back and they're saying you need to be more involved in the team, what are you not looking at when she's doing the company lunches and those on-site events as well? They could be doing a barbecue, a volleyball game, and she's participating in those. What was different in that participation versus this off-site one?
Maybe she's not participating. Maybe that's what the feedback is. Maybe she's just quiet. Sometimes shyness is mistaken for standoffishness. So I don't know. Again, we don't know enough here. But I think in general, because it's not that complicated and it's not that deep, if the ride and the pulling strings is the issue, I think she should figure out a way to go. But I don't know. I think either way.
Yeah, I don't read that it's mandatory or that they're obligated to go, but I definitely think make an effort and go to, like you said, one event, and then the next event you can skip. You just went to an event, you're starting to build relationships. You don't have to go to every single one if it's once a month, but make an effort.
And then make an appearance. Go for a couple of hours and then make a fast exit before anything gets messy.
Your Irish, the Irish goodbye.
All right, so to conclude, we're going to go to Ask HR, the segment where we go to the online forum where people ask professionals questions and get answers. This comes from user Spawn of Reddit. This is from Oregon. The title is, was told I would not be recommended for any promotion because I used the State Family Leave Act for the birth of my child. It reads, my wife and I had a child this year. A new law in Oregon gives me 3 months of protected paid time off for family bonding. You can take it all at once or use it intermittently through the year. I'm taking it intermittently and have used it during some of our busy season, but gave 30 plus days notice for every time I've used it, and they've granted it. Recently, I was speaking to my manager about possible promotions to different branches of the company, and he told me that while he doesn't do the hiring for those positions, he would not recommend me because of my availability issues. I've worked for the company for about a year and 3 months and have only called in sick once. All other days missed was PTO or this leave. He told me that I'm allowed to take it. It's not viewed positively in the manager world, and that, quote, he's had a hurt back and could probably take leave, and he doesn't because he's a manager. That kind of pissed me off, him comparing his hurt back to me having a newborn. But my question is, what recourse do I have? I'm afraid if I contact HR that he may get a slap on the wrist, but I'd be looked down upon from management for involving them. Also, I'm not sure what an attorney could do. I don't see any type of monetary compensation from all of this. So what would you do in this situation?
I've actually experienced this, and it's sad. Worked for a company that there's a lot of people in management that really needed to take FMLA. And because they knew that they would not get promoted and move up in the company, they did not apply for that and take that benefit that comes to them. But I would let this person know that their recourse is that they can go through the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division. They can go through the EEOC and file a claim for their rights being violated, for not being permitted to, for being retaliated against for using their FMLA, as well as they can also file a Colorado civil rights suit as well. So they have several different courses of action that they can take to get this taken care of, because the company is violating his FMLA rights by retaliating against him for promotion, because that is prohibited in all states, because FMLA is a federal benefit and regulation.
I don't know if he was on FMLA. He definitely was on state-run family, but the same rules.
Yeah, I'm sure he could submit a claim to the state family program, a claim of retaliation, and they would investigate it, similar to Colorado's.
Right.
I think this manager needs to go to training on what to say and what not to say. And I know it's a he said or he said, she said, but that is not an appropriate conversation that he should be having with his subordinate.
A couple of things. I think, one, he should still apply for whatever he wants to apply to. And look, not all HR is created equal, right? So we don't know what the HR department or HR person is at this company. But if just a regular HR person hears this, they're going to have an issue with it and escalate it, right? So yeah, I think this manager should be taken to task.
And he could get a slap on the wrist, but you're right. I think him still applying for his promotional opportunities as he sees them come through is the right approach.
He's doing the right thing. He's putting in advance notice. That time is his. It is a bummer that some people still act like this.
Ridiculous.
Right? Like they're acting like this leave is like them calling out sick. And it is not the same thing. It's not, you're not supposed to hold this against them. It's not the same thing. I don't know. It's pretty old school thinking, actually. I think that he should go to HR. Even with all the resources that you had, or recourse that you had mentioned, Barbara, it is incredibly awkward to file those claims while you're still working somewhere, right? If you're leaving, it's one thing, but to actually physically still be there, because HR is going to have to deal with it, right? So I would suggest before you do that, talking to HR. If that doesn't turn out correctly, then maybe do one of the other things, right? Because if you want HR on your side, this is candid. I'm not saying not to do it, but give them a lot of extra paperwork. It's not going to help.
That's all the time we have for today. Barbara, we want to thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Definitely a pleasure.
And of course, thank you all for listening. If you've enjoyed your time with us, please subscribe and leave a review. If you have any HR stories or questions to share, message us on Instagram at hr.stew. I'm Holly.
And I'm Regina.
And we'll see you next time on HR Stew.